Hi folks, hope you're doing well. It's nearly 8:15 on the 10th of the 10th, 2020. I was just watching a video about entitled parents, and the last story. At least I think it's the last story. There's quite a lot of space. There might be another story. I haven't finished it yet. But there's one where a young man writes in and speaks about the fact that his parents have always said that children are a gift from God. But he was, the second of five, and they were always poor, and that the children were expected to help take care of the younger children, and free babysitting, all this stuff. And of course the family would ask for handouts from other members of the extended family, and the extended family would always look down on them because of the fact they're always asking for handouts. And then when he's 19, Mum and Dad ask the whole family to come over. They got a big announcement. They're pregnant again. So, of course, he loses it. Basically tells them they should have it aborted. Because he's looking at it from the point of view of his sister. His sister's 16, and he knows that his sister's life is going to be massively impacted by this child. She'd be expected to look after it. To do a massive amount of looking after this child. It isn't actually her child. So let's get, First of all, are children a blessing from God? No. Well, yes and no. If you have the circumstances where you can actually give a good life to children, then yes. If you're dependent upon the generosity of others to take care of your children, but then really, how is that anything to do with God? Because God isn't really taking care of those children. Your other family members are. They're expected to shoulder a lot of responsibility. And that isn't right. They shouldn't have to. Your children shouldn't have to help raise your children, their brothers or sisters. They shouldn't have to do that. It's not their responsibility. You decide to have children. You decide to have unprotected sex. That's down to you. So if you're out there thinking, having loads of kids is a blessing from God, but you don't have the finances to take care of that yourself, then you need to stop and you need to consider for a second, if God was blessing you with all these children, he'd bless you with the finances to be able to really take care of them. To be able to really take care of them. He would give you the finances to be able to do that. If God hasn't given you the finances to do that, then, you're in a situation which is dodgy, to say the least. It's, tricky. Because, well, generally speaking, if someone says that children are a blessing from God, generally speaking, that would be the case. But if you're incredibly poor, if you don't have the money, but you want to have loads and loads and loads and loads of kids, where's the wisdom there? There's no wisdom in your decision making in any way, shape, or form, is there? Just no wisdom at all. You've got to have wisdom. Without wisdom, what are you doing? Wisdom is vitally important, certainly if you are going to be parents. You're going to be raising kids, you need wisdom. If you're going to be having loads of kids, you need even more wisdom because you need to know that you're doing the right thing. Of course you do. Don't put on other members. Don't make your situation into someone else's. You have Your responsibility. That's yours. Okay, there you go. That's yours. That's your responsibility. Cool. Go for it. Take care of your kids. There you go. Nothing to do with anyone else. You get to make decisions in your life. That's the reality of the situation. You get to make decisions in your life. You can't blame God for it. You can't say, oh, but it's a blessing from God. Because then you are, to a certain degree, saying that God should help you. And I'd agree to a certain degree. God should help you. Certainly, if God is trying to say that, look, I've given you a blessing, I've given you these children. God knows himself that children cost a lot of money to take care of. Not free. You've got to take care of them. And taking care of them is expensive. Good point. Anyhow, yeah, so it's all fun and games. Yeah. Yeah, these entitled parents ones, especially ones like that, they're difficult. Because you can understand the point of the young man. What he's saying to his parents. You can understand why he's saying it. You know that obviously his parents shouldn't abort. And when you've got 5 children, giving your 6th one up for adoption is, that's tough. The point of it is, this is where parents have to acknowledge what they do to their children. It is not the job of your children to be responsible in any way, shape, or form for looking after the younger members. It's not the job of your children to provide money so you can look after the younger members. That's your job. You're the parents. Your job is to figure that out. If you can't figure that out, if you don't have the money, stop having children. Stop having children. Simple. If you can't afford it, stop doing it. And it's not about saying that, I mean, to a certain degree, it's the same as if you're on the state and the state is paying because you're not working. And you keep on having loads and loads of children and the state is paying for you to raise your children. Again, come on. Don't say in any way, shape or form that children are a blessing from God when you're actually having the state pretty much pay for you to raise your children. It's the state that's doing it, not God. You're looking to the world system to provide for your children. Don't mention it being a blessing from God. Because although your children may be from God, you're not supposed to do it that way. Maybe God keeps on allowing you to have more children because he's hoping that you'll figure it out. Stop trying to use your other children to help you. You sacrifice your time. You sacrifice your life for your children. That's what you're supposed to be doing. Your job is to educate your children as parents, to help them to make the best decisions. It's not the job of your other children to do so. Tricky, isn't it? Yeah. When you look at issues like that, not easy. All right. Oh, tricky. Oh, there you go. As I say, it's what it is. This is what people do, isn't it? As crazy as it is. Yeah. It's not fair on your kids, is it? You could say abusive. Really. Well, like, if you have kids and you don't bother to raise those kids to the point where they're making good decisions, where they're not doing things that could potentially hurt themselves. Again, is that a form of abuse? I think so. I think God would certainly see it that way. Every parent really has been given the responsibility by God to raise that child, but to raise that child according to His will and His ways. That's the reality. So yeah, they are a gift from God and they are a blessing from God, but you're supposed to do things a certain way. If God has given you that blessing, He has expectations upon you as a parent. And when you fail that, then that's something you will be held accountable for. Oh, you will. But even this story, I haven't come to the end of the story yet, but guarantee one thing, the relationship between this 19-year-old and his parents will probably never be the same again. He's finally started speaking out about the effects of his childhood, about what his parents did to him by having all these other children. So he's not going to be able to look at the family again in the same way and pretend that everything's okay. That's difficult. That is. Why? Not an easy situation, that for anyone concerned. But there you go. Right, so you take care. God bless, and I'll speak to you soon. Bye-bye.